The Joker has always been one of cinema's most fascinating and terrifying characters. From Jack Nicholson's iconic performance in the 1989 Batman to Heath Ledger's unforgettable portrayal in The Dark Knight, and Joaquin Phoenix's Oscar-winning turn in 2019's Joker, this character has constantly evolved. Now, in 2025, we have Joker. Folie, Deux, a sequel that promises to dive even deeper into madness, love, and the blurred line between reality and delusion. But what does Folie à Deux actually mean? Many believe it's just a fancy subtitle. In truth, it's a psychological term that means madness shared by two. This already tells us that the film is not just about Arthur Fleck, but about a bond likely with Harley Quinn, played by Lady Gaga. The myth is that Harley Quinn is simply the Joker's sidekick, a romanticized partner in crime. The fact, however, is that Harley was originally written as a tragic figure, a psychiatrist who fell in love with her patient and descended into madness alongside him. The movie seems set to explore this psychological dance in a darker, more realistic way. Another myth surrounding Joker 2 is that it will be a traditional superhero film. Fans often expect a Batman appearance or comic-style action sequences. But Todd Phillips' vision is much closer to a psychological drama, even blending in elements of a musical, which shocked fans when announced. Early previews suggest that the music won't be random song and dance, but a way of showing Arthur and Harley's inner world, the fantasies and delusions that make them feel alive. As we move deeper into Joker, Folie à Deux, let's focus on Harley Quinn, the character who will completely reshape Arthur Fleck's journey. Many casual fans believe Harley Quinn is simply a crazy, colorful sidekick. But the truth is far more tragic. In her original story, Dr. Harleen Quinzel was a respected psychiatrist at Arkham Asylum. She was assigned to treat the Joker, but instead, she fell under his manipulative spell. In psychology, this is known as transference, when a patient begins to control or emotionally manipulate their doctor. Harley's descent into madness is not simply love, but a twisted codependency that mirrors Arthur's own instability. Now, the film's subtitle, Folie à Deux, is a direct reference to this dynamic. Psychologists use this term to describe two people who share the same delusion, feeding off each other's mental instability. Instead of one person pulling the other into their madness, both become locked in a cycle of reinforcing the other's distorted worldview. In Arthur and Harley's case, their delusion might not just be about love. It could be about identity, power, or even their place in society. This is what makes the relationship both dangerous and fascinating. One of the most surprising elements of the upcoming movie is its use of musical sequences. First, many fans thought this was a joke. How could the grim and gritty world of Joker be turned into a musical? But if we think about it, the decision makes perfect sense. Music, in cinema, often represents heightened emotion, fantasy, or a character's inner world. Imagine Arthur and Harley dancing and singing, not in reality, but in their shared delusion. To them, life becomes a musical, while to the audience, we see the tragic contrast between their fantasy and the dark reality surrounding them. Another common myth is that Joker 2 will connect directly to the DC universe or introduce Batman. But the director, Todd Phillips, has repeatedly emphasized that this Joker story exists in its own world, apart from traditional superhero narratives. This is not about Gotham's savior. It's about two people drowning in their own madness. And in many ways, that makes it scarier than any Batman movie, because it feels disturbingly real. Fans have also speculated about cameos, hidden references, and even multiple versions of Joker appearing in the film. While some of these theories are exciting, the truth is that the focus of the story is likely to remain on Arthur and Harley's psychological connection. If anything, Phillips may use musical numbers and dream sequences to blur the line between fantasy and reality, keeping the audience questioning what's real and what exists only in Arthur and Harley's shared imagination. Now we come to the most important part of Joker, Folie à Deux, the truth behind the myths of Joker and Harley Quinn's relationship, and what this film might ultimately reveal. For years, pop culture has painted Joker and Harley as a twisted but romantic couple. From comics to animated series to merchandise, fans often see them as a dark love story. But the reality is far more painful. In most versions of the story, Harley is a victim of Joker's abuse, trapped in an endless cycle of manipulation. The myth is that they are soulmates. The fact is that their relationship is toxic, destructive, and built on shared delusion rather than love. Folie Deux seems determined to explore this truth in a raw, unfiltered way. In the 2019 Joker, Arthur Fleck was a lonely man who found brief moments of escape through fantasy. His imagined relationship with his neighbor Sophie showed us how deeply he longed for connection, even if it wasn't real. In this sequel, Harley Quinn could represent both Arthur's salvation and his damnation. Together, they create a world where their love feels real, their power feels justified, and their songs give them meaning. But the tragedy is that this world exists only in their minds. The use of musical elements will likely serve as both a blessing and a curse in the story. When Arthur and Harley sing and dance, we may feel the beauty of their connection, but we'll also be painfully aware that outside of their minds, chaos and destruction follow them. This duality is what makes Joker, Folie Deux, so unique. It forces us to confront how easily people can lose themselves in fantasy, especially when they find someone who shares the same illusions. Another myth is that Joker, deep down, wants love and redemption. But in truth, Arthur Fleck is a man consumed by madness. The sequel will likely show that while Harley brings him comfort, she also cements his downfall. Their bond is not about healing. It's about sinking deeper into the abyss together. This is the meaning of madness shared by two. So what does this mean for the future of the Joker character? Folie Deux may not just be a sequel. It could be the definitive statement on Joker as a tragic figure. Instead of making him a cartoonish villain or a misunderstood anti-hero, the film positions him as a man trapped in his own mind, whose only escape is finding someone just as broken as he is. It's not a love story. It's a tragedy. As the credits roll, audiences may leave with more questions than answers. What was real and what was only fantasy? Was Harley truly there for Arthur? Or was she another figment of his imagination? Todd Phillips is known for leaving these questions unresolved, forcing the viewer to decide. In the end, Joker, Folie Deux isn't just a movie. It's a psychological mirror, reflecting back our fascination with madness, love, and the thin line between reality and illusion. The myths will be shattered, the truths will be unsettling, and one thing will be certain. This is not the Joker story we thought we knew.